I've been an actor for 5 years, and this was by far the worst experience I've had on any set, and it was a Dhar Mann set. He's attempting to gaslight us and the audience into thinking that, well, the concerns that these actors are having are crazy, and they're crazy for having them.
This past month, much of the internet was stunned to learn about the protest Dhar Mann movement. I'm sure you all know by now that this movement has gained a lot of attention, especially over on TikTok, and it consisted of actors who worked for Dhar Mann Studios protesting over low pay, questionable workplace rules, unfair work treatment, and Dhar Mann's alleged refusal to sit down for a meeting with the actors about all of this. These actors were some of the original creatives to appear in Dhar Mann's YouTube videos, where ironically enough, his videos contain themes of doing good by others and putting out what you want to get back in the world. If you haven't seen my 2 previous videos on this whole Dhar Mann situation, as well as his response, I'll leave those linked down below, but there's more to the story. Some of these actors have recently spoken out to expose some more details about Dhar Mann Studios, as well as Dhar Mann's character himself. And some of these actors are claiming they had a toxic relationship with their own boss, and even went as far as to express how they felt gaslighted and manipulated by Dhar Mann. One of these actors, who made a frequent appearance in Dhar Mann's videos, goes by Nathan Ng. The other day, Nathan Ng posted a TikTok, and it's gotten people even more upset with Dhar Mann.
Before I tell y'all why I stopped working with Dhar Mann and Dhar Mann stopped working with me, I want to talk about why I kept working with him. And the short answer is, it's because it was a toxic relationship. Now, if y'all have ever been in a toxic relationship, you'll understand that it's way harder to leave than you would think, even though in your head you know it's bad for you. Let me get down to the specifics. There are 3 main reasons that this was the case. 1, the highs are really high and the lows are really low, but the lows were far more frequent than the highs, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later because this one is actually a pretty big one. 2, you're kind of suffering in silence because if you ever talked about this to other people, the fear is that you could be replaced, and that's what happened to me, and you could lose a job. And 3, this one has been more apparent than ever with all the recent allegations. There are so many actors out there that are sharing their experiences, but instead of addressing our concerns, he's telling us that we're wrong for having them. This is a classic method of manipulation called gaslighting. He's attempting to gaslight us and the audience into thinking that, well, the concerns that these actors are having are crazy, and they're crazy for having them. AKA victim shaming. One of the biggest lows for me was the fact that there's a constant fear of being replaced. If you didn't do things his way, if you wanted something else, if you wanted to be treated any better, there's always an actor out there that could do your job. And this is kind of normal in the industry, right? But Dhar Mann sets this expectation that once you're a series regular, you'll be invited back and back and back again in order to do more films for him. But as soon as you don't work with his schedule, as soon as something in your life comes up, or as soon as you just have any concerns, you're gone.
Another former actor who also made a prominent appearance on Dhar Mann's videos, who goes by Mare, responded to a TikTok where someone was asking her about only working 2 hours for Dhar Mann Studios, and basically asking why they thought it seemed like she was complaining, which a lot of people disagreed. The person commented, "Okay, listen, you work what, 2 hours a day every other day? What is stopping you guys from getting a separate job? It's not hard." And Maya responded to this TikTok very respectfully, and many people applauded Mare for this fair answer she gave to this TikTok user. In this TikTok, she started emphasizing on how there was way more work being put in just to work for those 2 hours that they had to be on set for, preparation for the shoot and all of that. And she expressed how she didn't think this was fair at all, especially working for a big company like Dhar Mann Studios.
I don't know how many times I have to answer this question. So we all do have other jobs and other ways of making income. So we have to. And I don't even want to get into like that whole 2 hour thing or what. Look, when you're on a shoot, your whole day is dedicated to that. So you shouldn't have to get paid just for the amount of time that you are on set, because there's rehearsals, there's preparation, there's travel, there's hair, there's makeup, all of these things that go into getting ready for a shoot that you're going to be a part of that's going to make a company a lot of money. I don't think that that's fair. So anyways, basically what we were saying is that when, because we're not just coming in for like little background roles, like we are major faces of, or we're major faces of a brand. And our performances, we're continuing to make a lot of money over time. Our videos are constantly repackaged and re-released.
She then said that after all the actors collectively asked for a meeting with Dhar Mann to consider discussing the potential of different options, this is how it escalated.
So, we said collectively that we would like to have a meeting with our boss to discuss the potential for different options in the future, such as buyouts, residuals, that kind of thing. And when it's made pretty clear to you that your boss has no interest in meeting with you to discuss these things, and that you could put your issues in a suggestion box, that was just unacceptable to us. So, I think, does that answer your question?
Nathan, the former actor who we talked about earlier in this video, also touched on what he iterated was a nightmare of a scene to have went through in the Dhar Mann studios.
I actually got to take a step back and see how toxic the relationship really was, and it was a blessing in disguise. So, what happened? What was the reason that it all came down to this? In order for me to explain that, I need to talk about what happened on that set that day. This was the set of Controlling Girlfriend Gets Dumped. We had a scene that literally took all day to film, and this scene was an absolute nightmare because we were supposed to film another scene after that. So what caused this? There are three main reasons that made this very difficult to get through. The first one was the director. I love this guy, and I just want to say that his style just didn't really fit Dhar Mann Studios. He's very meticulous and very detail-oriented with all the shots that he took, which didn't fit Dhar Mann because he was pumping out content super quickly, and we had to get through it real quick. Every time something messed up the take, we would take it back from the beginning, which is not very normal in film. You just kind of go back from where you messed up and just kept going. And you got to understand that this scene took about 7 to 10 minutes to get through. So if we made a mistake within that 7 to 10 minute time frame, we would have to start from the beginning. Number two, Dhar Mann Studios is located right next to a freaking airport. So every 2 to 3 minutes, the planes would fly over and ruin the take, and we have to take it back from the beginning. Number three, accidents. Sometimes when actors forgot their lines or messed up, it happens, we have to take it back from the beginning. But the biggest accident that happened on the set was the waiter, and no hate towards this guy. There's a scene where he delivers green juice and he accidentally spills it on me. We have to wait for my clothes to dry, we come back 1 to 2 hours later, and he spills it again. And all of this delayed production. So I found out why they stopped working with me. A very trustworthy source at Dhar Mann Studios told me that they pinned all these delays on me just to save their own asses. Everything that could go wrong on this set did, and to Dhar Mann's credit, none of this was directly his fault. But how he handled the situation afterwards was. And pinning everything on me, ghosting me, and then replacing me is not the answer. This, mixed with the bad pay and toxic relationship, is why we stopped working together.
Since breaking apart from Dhar Mann Studios over this last month, these actors have now announced the launch of their own show, which honestly, great for them.
Guess what? We heard you.
Anyways, y'all, this has been the recent update with this whole Dhar Mann situation, as well as former employees speaking out some more on their experience working for Dhar Mann Studios. I definitely want to know what you guys think. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.